So we have already learned about Tut, his mummy, how and when his mummy was discovered, then the CT scan process in 2005 and increasing interest of tourists in Tut's mummy. Let's see the fourth paragraph now. The mummy is in very bad condition because of what Carter did in the 1920s, said Zahi Hawass, Secretary General of Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities, as he leaned over the body for a long first look. So this Zahi Hawass, who's Secretary General of Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities, found the condition of mummy very bad, and he gave the responsibility of this bad condition to Howard Carter, who discovered this mummy for the first time. So Howard Carter, that is, was the British archaeologist who in 1922 discovered Tut's tomb after years of futile searching. So for many years, Howard Carter had been searching for this mummy, but his efforts were useless, futile means fruitless, and then finally in 1922 he discovered this. Its contents, what else was with that mummy? So its contents, though hastily ransacked in antiquity, were surprisingly complete. So though the valuable treasures of Tut had been explored earlier, ransacked means explored, raided, though that was explored earlier, still they were complete, and that was very surprising. They remain the richest royal collection ever found and have become part of the pharaoh's legend. So these things, what the treasure which was found with that mummy, that was the richest treasure. The treasure found at Tut's grave is the richest till date and has come to be known as the pharaoh's legend. Stunning artifacts in gold, their eternal brilliance meant to guarantee resurrection, caused a sensation at the time of the discovery and still get the most attention. So it has artifacts in gold which are eternally beautiful and as good as new. Such artifacts still get attention. But Tut was also buried with everyday things he would want in the afterlife. As I told you earlier, that Egyptians, they believed in afterlife, and that's why with the dead body they used to keep all the everyday things. So what everyday things were with the Tut's mummy? There were board games, because he was a teenager and a pharaoh, a king, so they used to play board games. A bronze razor, linen undergarments, cases of food and wine. These things were with the mummy of Tut. After months of carefully recording the pharaoh's funerary treasures, Carter began investigating his 3 nested coffins. There were 3 other coffins. Nested coffins, 3 coffins placed one in another in order of decreasing size. The innermost coffin houses the body of the deceased. So after months of carefully recording the pharaoh's funerary treasures, Carter began investigating his 3 nested coffins. Opening the first, he found a shroud adorned with garlands of willow and olive leaves, wild celery, lotus petals and cornflowers, the faded evidence of a burial in March or April. When he finally reached the mummy, though he ran into trouble, the ritual resins had hardened, cementing Tut to the bottom of his solid gold coffin. No amount of legitimate force could move them. Carter wrote later what was to be done. So he began investigating his 3 coffins, which were nested one in another. In the first coffin, he found a piece of cloth with garlands of willow, olive leaves, wild celery, lotus petals and cornflower, which suggested that he had been buried in the months of March or April, because these flowers were found in these months. When he reached the 3rd coffin, he was in trouble. The body had hardened due to the resins. Resins, a sticky flammable substance that is insoluble in water, which had cemented the body, and it had stuck to the bottom of the coffin, which was made of gold. Carter wondered what to do next because no amount of force could separate the two. The sun can beat down like a hammer. His far south in Egypt, and Carter tried to use it to loosen the resins. For several hours he set the mummy outside in blazing sunshine that heated it to 149 degrees Fahrenheit. Nothing budged. So to loosen the resins by keeping the body in the hot sun, Carter tried in this way. He kept the mummy in 149 degrees Fahrenheit heat for several hours, but still it remained stuck. So when nothing budged, when nothing moved, he reported with scientific detachment that the consolidated material had to be chiseled away. Chisel away means to cut something. So that had to be cut. Chiseled word is used normally. We chisel the stones. The stone makers, they chisel the stones. So that material was as hard as a stone that it was chiseled. It was to be chiseled away from beneath the limbs and trunk before it was possible to raise the king's remains. In his defense, Carter really had little choice. So that thing was good or bad, but Carter couldn't defend himself. He had little choice means he didn't have any choice. If he had not cut the mummy free, thieves most certainly would have circumvented the guards and ripped it apart to remove the gold. In Tut's time, the royals were fabulously wealthy, and they thought or hoped they could take their riches with them. So why Carter thought to chisel the mummy? Because he believed that if he had not done that, thieves would have removed the gold from the tomb and would have looted it. Because that mummy was having a lot of gold. During Tut's time, the royal people were very wealthy, and they had a belief that after death, they could take the wealth along with them. For his journey to the great beyond, King Tut was lavished with glittering goods, precious collars, inlaid necklaces and bracelets, rings, amulets, a ceremonial apron, sandals, sheets for his fingers and toes, and the now iconic inner coffin and mask, all of pure gold. So that was in that mummy. To separate Tut from his adornments, Carter's men removed the mummy's head and severed nearly every major joint. Once they had finished, they reassembled the remains on a layer of sand in a wooden box with padding that concealed the damage. The bed where Tut now rests. So now we can assume that how bad the condition of mummy was when it went for CT scan.